The town of Ashvale, West Virginia, was once a thriving mining hub, its heartbeat the thrum of pickaxes and the rumble of coal carts echoing from deep within the earth. But today it's little more than a forgotten speck on the map, shrouded in mist, buried in silence, and avoided even by the most daring hikers. They say the land remembers, and if that's true, then Ashvale is cursed with a memory too terrifying to retell. Beneath the cracked surface of its land lies an ancient wound, miles of collapsed coal shafts and buried tunnels, collectively known to locals as the Hollow Nest. The name is whispered with dread in nearby counties, often followed by a prayer, a spit over the shoulder, or the hasty sign of the cross. For those who know the legend, or worse, believe it, the Hollow Nest is more than a remnant of forgotten industry. It is a breeding ground, a hive of unnatural birth, where chittering sounds echo without source and shadows move in impossible patterns. It began, like all horror stories, with disappearances. Between 1938 and 1952, over 30 workers went missing inside Shaft 7C, a particularly deep and structurally unstable section of the mine. At first, the company chalked it up to cave-ins and accidents. Miners in those days were disposable, and death came with the job. But then came the reports, the whispered accounts that never made it into official records. Men who returned from that shaft spoke of voices in the dark, voices that mimicked their wives, their children, even their own cries for help. One man, Joseph Creedy, was found wandering aimlessly on the forested ridge a week after vanishing. He was barefoot, covered in thick, sticky mucus, and had deep bite marks across his legs. He refused to speak, only murmured, "Don't listen when they call you by name. It's not them." Days later, he clawed out his own eardrums with a rusted fork and bled to death in a state-run asylum. The mine closed down shortly after that, buried under lawsuits and public scrutiny, though the official story was economic downturn. In truth, the shafts were sealed in concrete and overgrown with time. But legends don't die with wood and stone. Over the decades, stories persisted, of strange lights flickering beneath the hills, of a humming sound that resonated from the ground during heavy rain, of missing campers and hikers who ventured too close to the forgotten mine. Some claim to hear clicking and chittering noises just after dusk, a sound like beetles skittering across bone. In 1994, an amateur urban explorer named Margot Tills documented her journey into the outer edges of the shaft in a VHS tape titled Echoes from the Hollow. The footage, which went viral in early cryptid forums, showed her descending with rope and headlamp, passing through narrow limestone corridors choked with web-like strands, thick, pulsing with moisture, unlike any spider silk. About 30 minutes in, the camera begins to capture distorted audio, static interspersed with whispering voices. Some viewers claim to hear phrases like, "I am still down here," and "It's not dark if you don't to close your eyes." The last few seconds of the tape freeze on a still frame, Margot staring directly into the camera, her pupils dilated, face slack. Behind her, dozens of reflective points glow in the dark like eyes. The screen cuts to static. Margot was never found. What lives beneath the Hollow Nest is not bound by the natural laws of insects or mammals. Dubbed the Chittering Brood by internet forums and local folklore, this cryptid species is believed to be a hive-mind organism, biologically similar to insect colonies but far more intelligent and infinitely more sinister. Witnesses describe humanoid forms covered in iridescent chitin with elongated limbs, segmented torsos, and heads that twitch unnaturally, often emitting high-pitched clicking sounds. Their wings are not for flight, but for vibration, creating a frequency that interferes with human neural perception. Some believe this is how they mimic voices, by vibrating the very air in ways that trick the brain into thinking it hears familiar sounds. Survivors speak of hearing their mother's lullaby, their dead brother's voice, or their own name echoing down the tunnel. Always just around the corner, just out of sight. In 2007, a secret team of geologists, hired by a private energy firm, was sent to survey Ashvale's underground mineral potential. Their encrypted findings were leaked anonymously by a whistleblower who claimed that seismic data showed underground movement patterns inconsistent with geological activity and heat signatures resembling nesting behavior. One chilling report stated, "Tunnels appear to have been excavated post-abandonment. Not by tools, but by some unknown burrowing mechanism. Walls are lined with organic resin. Several voids contained clusters of large, desiccated husks, possible prey items or exoskeletal remains." The project was terminated. No further updates were released. Locals now avoid the hollow nest entirely. Hunters refuse to track deer near the ridgeline. No cell service reaches the lower forested basin. Wildlife behaves erratically. Raccoons found flayed but uneaten, birds with shattered beaks flying in circles, and coyotes howling in chorus, then suddenly going silent. A drone expedition launched in 2021 by cryptid investigators from the YouTube channel Hollow Truths showed bizarre anomalies. The drone's compass spinning uncontrollably, GPS losing all signal, and a screeching sound that caused the video feed to crash seconds before the drone fell from the sky. The channel posted the partial footage, which includes a glimpse of a massive dark opening pulsing with movement, like thousands of small bodies shifting in unison. Perhaps the most disturbing detail came from a hiker named Caleb Ross, who stumbled into one of the satellite shafts during a solo camping trip in 2023. He was found 3 days later, dehydrated and covered in deep lacerations. His journal, found in his backpack, contains scrawled entries detailing his descent. One line reads, "The walls are alive. They twitch when I breathe. Something spoke to me in my dad's voice. He died in 2017. I wanted to follow it." Caleb has since been institutionalized and refuses to sleep in dark rooms. Theories about the origin of the Chittering Brood vary. Some believe they are a lost evolutionary branch of insect life, perhaps survivors of a prehistoric era, driven underground by climate shifts and human expansion. Others claim they are alien in origin, an infestation left behind by some ancient visitor. A few conspiracy theorists even argue that the brood is the result of Cold War genetic experiments, a failed bioweapon bred to burrow, mimic, and destroy from within. Whatever the truth, one thing is clear: they have adapted, and they're still breeding. Patterns in disappearances suggest that the brood emerge cyclically. Every 13 years, their activity spikes. If the math holds, their next emergence is due this year. Already, whispers are spreading in online forums. Strange dreams shared by strangers hearing familiar voices in static, pets behaving erratically near mine entrances. It's as if the brood is testing the boundaries of its hive, stretching its mind, listening, mimicking. And perhaps the most terrifying theory of all is that they don't want to kill. Not at first. The Chittering Brood is patient. It wants you to come willingly, lured by the sound of someone you trust, someone you lost, someone who shouldn't be there, but is. Just beyond the veil of shadow, just down that tunnel. All you have to do is follow the sound, because once you do, you belong to the nest.